Imagine you had a switch in your head. You could flip it and then suddenly not feel pain. If you were being tortured, would you use it? Because I probably would. Jesus, though, didn't on the cross. Imagine you had the power to walk through walls. Would you use that to escape an unjust trial and imprisonment? We know Jesus could walk through walls. He did it, but he didn't use it then on the cross or the trial or anything. Imagine you could have super strength and just tear out of restraints like Hulk or Wolverine. Would you use it? Jesus could, but he didn't. If you could predict the future and you knew someone was going to betray you, would you let them do it? Jesus still let Judas betray him. If you could snap your fingers and summon an army of well-trained troops, like 60,000 of them, would you do it to save yourself? Jesus could do that, 12 legions of angels, but he didn't. Why? What I'm saying is, every step of the way, Jesus was in control. He even said, "No one takes my life from me. I lay it down of my own accord." There's this exchange between Jesus and Pilate in John chapter 19 where Pilate says, "Do you not know that I have the authority to release you and the authority to crucify you?" And Jesus answers him by saying, "You would have no authority over me at all unless it had been given to you from above." Jesus is the one in control. So if he's in control, that means that he willingly went to his death. Why? One word: love. Love bears all things. Perfect love drives out all fear, and for the joy set before him, he endured the cross. Because if it was simply about Jesus' death, he could have picked any death. He could have been a simple one, a painless one. He could even have died as an infant under King Herod. That would have sufficed because it was a death. But he chose a different path because love is willing to suffer for the beloved. And Jesus, love himself, is willing to suffer for us, the beloved. So he picks the most painful, shameful, and just overall terrible death to show the extent that he loves us. So because of that, this week, this Holy Week, should look different from the rest of the weeks. This week, prepare and enter into Jesus' passion, death, and resurrection, which is the event in all of history that changed things the most. It's the event that redeemed you and made you an adopted child of God, if you allow it to. This year, I'm going to be doing something I've never done before. Starting evening of Holy Thursday, through the Easter Vigil, media fast. Phone on Do Not Disturb, computer only strictly when necessary, and other than that, it's going to be a day of prayer and reflection, which I think is going to be hard, but also really clearing out the clutter so that I can more fully enter, that's the way you say it, yeah, more fully enter into Jesus' passion, death, and resurrection. And of course, on Easter Sunday, celebrate, because you need to celebrate happy things and Jesus' resurrection. If I was in the same situation as Jesus, and if I had superpowers, I definitely would have used them to escape. But Jesus had powers that make our superheroes look like nothing, and he chose to suffer, die, and rise, because death does not have the final word. God has the final word. Jesus shows us that just because you have power, it doesn't mean you should use it for yourself. Had he escaped from the cross, then we would still have the consequences for our sins. He shows us that power is there for love. Power is not for your sake. Power is for the sake of others, because that's how God works. Yes, be a hero today.